Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this is Blooming. To the returning subscribers, to the Blooming gang, welcome back you guys. And if you are new here and not yet a subscriber, please do consider subscribing and also become a bloomer. So guys, firstly, I really apologize for being so inconsistent lately. I don't know, man. I'm just going through a weird YouTube funk, I don't know what it is, and I think it's something that will pass. I hope so. So I haven't been able to record a video every week. I don't know. It's just, yeah. But we'll get through that. We'll get past that. So today's video, I don't even know what the hell to title this video, but for now I will say that I'm going to be talking about attitudes that I am moving forward with. Now I could say that I'm taking into 2021, except the part where we are now in April, so I'm just going to say that I'm moving forward with just in life. I did say, I think this was my second video, which spoke about why it is that I decided to start this YouTube channel. And one of the things that I spoke about was that I want to share my journey, the lessons that I learn, and the realizations that I have as I am growing, and also to open up the dialogue, and so that we can all converse about these things, as a growing community, because I'm assuming people that watch this channel are around my age. So yeah, so that we can all just understand also that you're not alone in this journey that you're taking, and it gets weird, it gets confusing, you get more questions, and every now and then you get answers. So today's video will be more along those lines, in the sense that just things that I've learned over the years, and attitudes that I'm choosing to adopt and move forward with. I'm gonna call them attitudes. I don't know what else I can call it. Life lessons, I don't know. I do not know. But okay, the first one is that accepting that you learn some things on the job. So basically what this means is that you won't have all the answers of the journey that you're embarking, or the venture that you are starting, or whatever it is. You won't have all the answers before you start. So just start. And I think this one applies everywhere in life, because I know with myself that I always feel like if I don't know everything that I have to know about something, then I can't go into it. But those are lies. Those are lies, because you'll never start anything, and it's fear speaking. You're giving excuses to your fear. Well, at least that's what it is for me. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean you don't do your research. This doesn't mean that you don't find out as much as you can, but accepting that you won't know everything that there is to know, no matter how prepared you think you are. So you just need to go into it and do what you want to do. A big example for me has to be this YouTube channel. When I started, or when I was thinking about starting, I was so afraid. So afraid of everything that could possibly go wrong. I was afraid because I was like, I don't have the best editing software. I don't have a camera to start with. I'm gonna have to use my phone. All these things that you do not have at the beginning. The skill set, the proper presentation skills, all of that. But it took me understanding and accepting that some things I will learn on the job to actually start this. Now, this could apply to maybe a business venture that you want to go into. Maybe some of you guys are still in high school or matric and have to decide what to do in university. This could apply to you guys. No matter how much research you do, you won't really know what it's like to be a student studying that particular path, or even what it's going to be like when you do start working. It could be a whole list of things that are new, that are unknown, that you want to step into. It could be learning to play a new instrument, or play an instrument for that matter. I know with me, I did piano lessons for like a year. Okay, it was in grade 10. I did that. Obviously, I only like took lessons for 1 year, so like I'm not like a piano player or anything. But I do have that desire in my heart to go back and continue where I left off, because I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to create music like that. But like, it's also like kind of scary, because firstly, like, people that are very good at piano start at a very young age. Like primary school, I only started when I was in grade 10, and I'm like, well, maybe it's too late for me to start. I no longer can become a good piano player. But lies again. Lies, 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 lies. The worst thing that we do is that when we start something, we compare ourselves to people that have been doing that something. And that isn't fair on ourselves, because that's not how they started, that's not where they started. Thina sisibona nje sekuhambile. So understanding that, like, a lot of things you will learn once you start doing something, and don't let some of the unanswered questions stop you from actually starting. Do it, Budayam. Go for it. And then the second thing is being honest with myself and trusting myself. So let's start with being honest with myself. The phrase "eti living your truth" or "living my truth" is one that I've heard a lot, but I think I've only come to truly understand now. Firstly, just being honest with yourself. That's like tough. That's tough only because sometimes what you see and observe is not what you want to see and observe, right? So yeah, you see what's happening, but you don't want to accept it because it's contrary to what you want. A very popular and obvious example of this is in Umjolo, when you're dating with someone who is a serial liar and a serial cheater. Let me tell you. From experience, you'll be knowing. You know that person is lying to you, because you see all the red flags, you see all the stories that don't add up and don't make sense. You see stuff, and you just choose not to believe it. You choose not to believe it. And so for me, I'd have to say that one of the biggest thing has to be like learning to be honest with myself, with what I see, and accept it for what it is, right? No, Mom O said line that I think she got from Maya Angelou: when a person shows you their true colors, believe them the first time, right? So in that sense, be honest with yourself in your relationships, either in umjolo or even friendships or whatever the case may be. But also, more than that, which I think is even more important, be honest with yourself about yourself. I was reading The Alchemist a couple of months ago, and you know what? I've actually been thinking about making a video about stuff that I learned from that book. I actually learned some stuff. Anyways, one of the things that they were speaking about was listening to your heart. And what the character was doing in the book is that because they didn't like what the heart was thinking or feeling, they chose to ignore it or turn away or pretend like it's not there or bury it under stuff. Now let me explain, like, in case like you haven't read the book. An example that I can use is jealousy or envy. When you realize that you are envious or jealous of somebody, whether it's your friend or your neighbor or a family member or whatever it is, you realize that in your heart you have nasty feelings about this person's wins. And then what do you do with that? In the case of this book, this character ignored that or buried that or pretended like that's not there. So in the case of this envy or jealousy example, it would be that you just choose to ignore those feelings like they're not there, or bury them, or just go on pretending like you don't feel like that. But in the book, it says that, like, instead of burying that or pretending like it's not there, actually confront it. Confront those nasty feelings and ask yourself, speak to yourself, why do you feel like this about this person winning? Why does it make you feel like that? Why does it evoke such emotions? Go away, and actually have those honest conversations with yourself, so that you can grow from that, instead of just burying them and then just letting all of that negativity pile up inside of you. So that's also the other fold of honesty for me, that I'm challenging myself to be that honest with yourself. Recognize all the things in your heart that are not nice to see, are not nice to acknowledge, that you actually feel like this. Whatever it may be, but be honest with yourself about that, and confront those feelings instead of burying them. So that's also what I mean by being honest with yourself. But also, thirdly, what I also mean by being honest with yourself is be in tune with yourself. What I mean by that is get to really know yourself. Now, I truly believe that everyone is on earth to serve a certain purpose. There is a reason why you've been put here, where you've been put, when you've been put. You have a role to play. Now, people from different religions and different upbringings will have a different name for this purpose. With Christians, it's the great mission that God has given you. Everyone believes what they believe in, but ultimately it's that everyone has a purpose to fulfill. And in order for you to actually be able to do that, you need to be honest with yourself be honest with yourself in the sense of know yourself. Know yourself. And I think the reason why I really enjoy Super Soul Conversations is that even though there are like hundreds of different characters or guests that Oprah brings from different religions, backgrounds, cultures, whatever, ultimately they're all preaching the same gospel, which is getting to know yourself, because that's how you're going to have access to your spiritual GPS, so to speak, that will take you to where you are supposed to be. By where you're supposed to be, I don't mean physically, I mean in terms of purpose. Can allow you to live a life of fulfillment and joy and peace. Peace, because you truly are doing what you are meant to do. This one is a bit of a huge mental shift, because I was not raised to think like that. I wasn't raised to follow passions. What you're passionate about. I was raised to be practical. I was raised to do or study what will give you that secure job and that secure living. It's a new way of thinking for me, but I'm embracing it, and I've been enjoying the journey of learning to think like that. And I've been just taking note of what makes me happy, taking note of what makes me feel lighthearted. What am I doing when I feel like that, when I feel elated, and truly just gravitating more towards that. And that is also a form of being honest with yourself, because that allows you to live your truth. Isn't that like a super popular phrase, that you hear a lot, living your truth. But what does it mean to live your truth? I think I've come to realize that living your truth means knowing yourself, being honest with yourself about who you are and what you want, and then choosing to live your life that way. And that's where the trusting yourself comes in. Because if you are truly going to be able to live your truth, it takes more than just knowing your truth. It also takes courage to trust yourself and what you've come to know about yourself, so that you can take those steps, you can make those decisions that will land you where you have to be. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I mean, for one, I'm really glad that I was finally able to film a video that kind of makes sense of what I've been thinking and what my brain has been going through. But I'd like to hear from you guys and what your experience has been around such subjects. Are you guys also going through the same processes? Do you at all relate to any of these? I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking and where you are at. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you are not yet a subscriber, please do consider subscribing and also become a member of the Blooming Gang. We are all about growth in this channel. We are all about becoming the best versions of ourselves, and we are all about being kind to yourself, being kind to others, and giving grace. Watching.